everybody, welcome back. December 5th, National Comfort Food Day. It's a great day because it's starting to get into that winter weather that we all hate. It's cold outside and we don't have the white stuff yet, thank God. But anyway, what we're going to do today, we've done a bunch of comfort foods over the course of this whole year. I mean, we've done our mac and cheeses and all kinds of stuff like that we really like, those hearty pot pies and shepherd's pies and all of those kind of things, which are really my top comfort foods. So because it's winter time and it's comfort food time, let's make a soup again today. We've been getting more into that season and I'd like to try it. This one I'm excited about because it's one of my favorite soups and I've never made it. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. Matzo ball soup. I love it when I go out to eat and I go someplace like a Jewish deli or something that, you know, you get a nice corned beef sandwich, but you start with some matzo ball soup. It's just my favorite. But I've never made matzo ball soup, so I'm really excited about this one today. There's a million recipes for this, obviously. I'm not Jewish, so I don't know the traditional ways that you make this or not. I've researched a ton of different recipes. I pulled, as usual, a little bit from here and there, just the elements that I really think sound good about the different recipes. I kind of put them all together into my own. So we're going to try making our own today and see if it's really as good as I can create it to be or if I should just stick to the recipe and cut my losses. But anyway, we're going to get started with this one today. So we're going to make our matzo balls first, and then we're going to, while that's got to go into, once we make our mix, we got to let that go into the fridge for about 45 minutes or so, just to firm up so we can scoop our matzo balls. And when we're doing that, we'll make our stock part of it, or our soup part of it, okay, with all our veggies and stuff. I'm going to cheat a little bit today. I went and got myself a rotisserie chicken because they were on sale, and we're going to pull the chicken off of that and everything and throw that into our soup too, rather than making a whole chicken, okay? So I'll be right back to get this one started and we'll tell you what you need as we go. That's our new thing. Instead of saying, here's what you need, I just tell you as we go. Be right back. So let's get started with our matzo balls, okay? I have 2 cups of matzo meal, whether you take the actual matzo and grind them up yourself or you just buy the store-bought meal already processed for you, okay? To that, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Eggs don't come yet. See, I'm jumping ahead of myself. With my matzo meal here, I'm going to mix a shallot, 1 good sized shallot, okay? Some quarter teaspoon of black pepper, quarter teaspoon of salt. You can use white pepper too, either one. Quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, okay? So that's that first. See, I was jumping ahead of myself. Now I'm going to take my eggs in a larger bowl here. I suck at eggs, I'm telling you. I mean, I crack them all over the place. They just don't crack the way I want them to crack. Okay, so I'm going to take my 4 eggs and just kind of whisk those up a little bit. Now to your 4 eggs, you're going to add schmaltz. I had to look to see what the heck schmaltz was because I swear I didn't know what schmaltz was. See how I don't know a lot of these things and I teach myself these things? It's rendered chicken fat. That's what it is. So you can buy it. I thought I was going to have a hard time finding it. I mean, I saw recipes how to make your own schmaltz and I'm like, I'm not making my own schmaltz. Schmaltz this. So I went to the store and thankfully ShopRite carries schmaltz in the freezer section. Just ask somebody. Don't try to find it yourself because that's what I did and I wasted about 15 minutes walking around here, went to the kosher aisle, the whole... Just go to somebody who works there and say, hi, I need frozen chicken fat. And they're going to take you to the freezer section and show you right where it is. It's a little container of rendered chicken fat, okay? And that's what you want. So you just melt it down. It looks like oil, but it smells like a Chinese restaurant. That's what I thought of when I started melting this. Anyway, you melt this down. You don't want it hot. Just let it cool off once you have it melted down. And just whisk this into your eggs, okay? Then take this mixture first, your dry stuff, and just mix that all together, okay? Make sure you really break up the minced up. I really minced up the shallot pretty fine, okay? Because I don't want like big chunks of onion in my matzah. I don't think you're supposed to have that, but I think I want the flavor of it. So I'm just going to make sure that all these spices and my shallot is really broken up and mixed up good in here. Once you do that, now take this mixture of your eggs and your schmaltz. I love saying that, schmaltz. Take your schmaltz and your egg and just mix this with your matzah, your dry ingredients, okay? Don't over mix it though, you just want to mix it until you see it's all wet and incorporated. It looks like wet sand, kind of, okay? So you just want to, just with a fork, doesn't have to be no fancy tools for this one. Just make sure you mix it all together really well, okay? Okay, so it should look like that. Like I said, like wet sand, kind of, okay? It's all mixed together nicely. We're gonna cover this, put this in the fridge for about 45 minutes. In the meantime, we'll get our chicken soup part of this ready, and then we'll be back to scoop and drop these into our chicken soup, because we're gonna cook them in our actual broth today. A lot of the recipes I saw, you can boil them, I believe, in water first, your matzo balls, and then add them to your soup, or you can actually cook them in the stock, which is what we're going to do today. All right. Okay, I'm back. I forgot one of the most important ingredients. I just was going to put this in the fridge and get ready to start my stock, and I realized I didn't put the dill in. You got to put the 3 tablespoons of nice fresh dill has to be mixed into this too. Okay, so anyway, mix that in, then cover it, then put it in the fridge, and then come back and make our stock. So I have a little bit of olive oil drizzled in my stock pot here. I have a whole yellow onion, okay. I have about 2 stalks of celery all chopped up, okay. And a whole mess of little baby carrots, sliced, okay. So what we're going to do is just saute these a little bit and soften them up, and then we're going to add our stock. Now they would soften anyway in the stock, so it's not like you really have to do this ahead of time. I just like to do this because I like to let them saute and sweat a little bit and really release some of that flavor that they have in them when I add my stock. That just kind of adds to it, okay? So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, and then once that's ready, I'm going to take I got my big pitcher here, about 10 to 12 cups of chicken stock, okay? You really want to make a lot of stock, especially for this soup, because the matzo balls are going to soak up some of your liquid when you're cooking them. So you want to go a little extra on your stock, whatever the recipe tells you to do. If you're doing a different recipe, always go a little heavier. There's nothing wrong with a little more broth for your soup. You know what I mean? It's not like you can have too much broth. Alrighty, so we're going to just put this on a low simmer. We're going to let this cook for the whole hour that we're waiting, or 45 minutes that we're waiting for our matzo balls, but make sure it's on a simmer, and because we don't want it to, and I'm going to even cover it just to make sure we don't lose a lot of the liquid there. Alrighty, and then we'll be back to scoop and drop some matzo balls. I just took our mixture out, our soup, everything is pretty much tender in there, but we still have to cook this for like another half hour when you add these matzo balls to it, okay? They have to simmer for a while. So I'm just going to see if I can use my ice cream scoop here to put this together. Let's see. They seem very... no, I'm probably going to have to do this by hand, but I'll use this as my measuring guide so they're all basically uniform, because it's really a dry mixture here, and you really got to press this together, okay? I don't know. So that took a little more work than I thought it was going to take. You really got to press them together and work them to get them into these nice ball shapes. But anyway, let's go here. Now, this cannot be boiling. This has to be on this low heat simmer, okay? Because if it's bubbling, boiling, from what they say, it'll break your matzo balls all apart when you put them in there, okay? So I made 17 of them, and I had enough left to make this one small one. So I'm going to do a test first, and just use my spoon here to put that into the pot. Not stirring it, I just want to see what happens. So you could do a test, since I've never done this before. I don't know You know, I just want to see if it keeps its ball shape, if I can find it, because I can't see it with all the veggies in here. But it didn't break all apart because I'm not seeing a bunch of stuff floating on the top. Ah, there it is. Yeah, it's staying together. Okay. So I'm going to add all of these now to my pot. Half hour on this low simmer. Just let them cook, because these have to cook all the way through. Remember, you have that rendered chicken fat in here, and you have raw egg in here. So you want to make sure that you cook these all the way through. Okay, so I'll see you when these come out, and we'll have soup. We'll be back to try our matzo ball soup. Okay, there we go. I cut up our rotisserie chicken, and I threw that into our pot and got that going. Now, I did lose a couple matzahs that kind of fell apart, so you just kind of strain them out of the, because it all floats to the top, and you just kind of strain them out. I mean, but it makes a beautiful soup. I think, thinking back now, I'm thinking that the matzah mix was too dry. I think that I needed to make that a little bit wetter of a mixture. Maybe I put too much of the matzah meal in there and made them too dry. But anyway, we're going to see how we taste with one of these. Okay, let me just put that down. I should probably sit down and eat, but you know, once I start eating, I want to keep eating. So if I sit down, I'm not going to want to stop to talk. So that's why I'm just going to do a quick taste. Take a piece of one of our matzo balls. Ooh, really nice. Really get a nice kick of that dill. Don't be shy on that dill when you're making yours. You know, I did a good, like 3 tablespoons of fresh dill. Really gives it a nice bright flavor in this soup. Perfect. This is comfort food, especially in the wintertime. Alrighty? We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. We did matzo ball soup. You do whatever you want. Whatever comfort food makes you comfortable, have it. We'll see you tomorrow.